Thanks so much, Justin. Joining us in studio this morning is Congressman Sean Duffy to weigh in on some of the issues that we've been following. Good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca.
So I want to start out with the topic of terrorism after the attacks in Paris, and then, of course, the 14 lives that were lost in California just weeks later. A lot of people are worried. Should we be worried as Americans?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at, again, the attack in Paris. Those attackers with the visa waiver program could have been on a plane flying to New York, Miami, Minneapolis, Chicago, and executed that attack right here. Yes, we should be concerned, and it's important that we take steps to make sure we protect the homeland. One of our concerns is how far the president has or hasn't gone in protecting the American people. So we in Congress, we've passed a reform to the visa waiver program. There's a little over 30 countries that have a program where you can go online and just type in your information, pay a small fee, and you can come to America.
Wow.
Well, if you've been to hotspots for terrorism, you should have the interview with an American official before you get the visa to come into the country. We should have biometrics in your passport so we can verify who you are. We should make the countries of origin share their terrorist information with us so we can verify that the people who are coming in aren't going to do us harm. But beyond that, there's been a conversation with Donald Trump.
Right.
He's been driving a certain agenda. Listen, if you're coming from a country where there's known terrorist activity, maybe we should take a pause. Why are we letting people into the country from hotspots around the world that want to kill Americans, blow Americans up? Until we can get this right and know who's coming in and whether they want to be part of the American dream or they want to do us harm, we shouldn't let them in, at least for right now. And it's not a religious test, it's a regional test or a state test or a neighborhood test that we have to use.
So Trump's comments, you're saying that you don't think that's all that bad?
Well, he was talking about religion.
Right.
I think a religious test is not what we don't do religious tests here. But we can look and say, if you're coming from an area where there are major sponsors of terrorism, look at Saudi Arabia. They partner with us in some respects, but the 9/11 attackers came from Saudi Arabia. The wife of Farouk came from Saudi Arabia. Maybe we should have a pause on immigration from Saudi Arabia. And what we have to step back and say, what is my role as your congressman? Is to make sure I protect you.
Right.
My role isn't to say let's let as many people come into the country as possible. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure I protect central, northern, western Wisconsin. I'm here to protect the American people. That's job one. And if you can't verify that people aren't here for good purposes, you got to say no. Don't let them in. Especially for right now.
Yeah. So finally, I do want to ask, what are you doing for the holidays? I'm sure people are interested.
I might be in Washington, D.C. We don't have a budget deal yet, so hopefully we'll be back this week. But if not, we could be there into the holiday season. But for me, I have 7 little kids. We're going to stay at home. It's a fun time for me to be with them for Christmas. I might make it back up to Hayward to see my parents, but I look forward to a couple of down days and Christmas trees and a lot of cookies and putting on a couple pounds.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And we will send it back to you, Josh.